Hey guys, welcome back to the DuckHill Workshop. My name is Ben, as always, and today what I wanted to show you is how we put together the foundation of the timber frame garden shed that we're building. So this whole episode is foundation ground prep, excluding a little bit of stump grinding, digging our foundation, putting rock down along with landscape cloth to create piers, and then using solid concrete blocks and 2x6 or 6x6 treated timbers for our foundation, and then building a stick framed 2x6 foundation along with eventually we'll mill red oak timbers or planks for the floorboards and go from there. So enjoy.
Oh. All right, welcome back to the DuckHill Workshop. Today, we're going to build the floor deck for this timber frame shed outbuilding. It's all 2x6 construction. We got a couple cuts to make, and then we'll just start putting her together. It is a beautiful 26 degrees out here, a little bit of a breeze. My eyes are watering, and hopefully we stay warm. We should. It's just the first couple cold days of the season, and your body's got to get acclimated to it. But I spent 2 days building fence at the gardens at Castle Rock the last 2 days, so I should be ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. All right, so now the perimeter of my floor deck is square. I have to put a center row or joist thing in the middle, and then we will start filling in with joists, sleepers, the 2x6s to fill in this floor deck between. I didn't actually pull this measurement off my plans, so I didn't know. Hold on, I'm yelling. I didn't know this beforehand, but structure is, the footprint's 12 by 16, and your diagonal is 20 inches across, or 20 feet across. So it's 200 to square it up, 240 inches, and that just highlighted that we should have done a better job. Probably busted out like stakes in the string line to square up our skids, because I never actually bothered to measure that the skids were perfectly square. We just measured that they were spaced out about right. And two things, thankfully the skids, 16-foot skids, are a little bit longer than 16 feet. And you saw me cut the 2x6s, same thing, 16-foot 2x6s are actually 16 feet and an inch. So I had to take an inch off of each of them, or the outside ones, and then cut the inside ones to 141 inches. 141 plus 3, so 144 to 12. So now we'll put the center one in. I have to tap that skid forward just a couple inches to make sure the whole deck sits on the floor. And then in each corner, so right now, this skid, even though it is level, it must have a little bit of twist in it. So this corner is level, but there's a little bit of a gap between the 2x6 and the skid. So what's actually going to end up happening is I'll have to take another trip in, get a shorter piece of 2x6, and we'll block those into the corners, because that's also where the posts for the timber frame are going to stand. And we want to transfer that weight directly down to the skids. And then same here with this one in the middle. I won't put 6x6 posts or cutoffs, but I'll build it out with 2x6s to make sure that there is a continuous 6x6 pad right down to the deck. So, all right, let's get that in place. All right, my head might be out of the frame on this. Not 100% sure, so important note, and now that we're halfway through putting these floor joists in, is that always buy an extra board or two. I've heard some people say estimate, plan out what you think you need, and then estimate an extra 20 or 30% material, cost, time, everything. I was only supposed to get 10 2x6s for the joists, 5 green treated for the sill, I guess. And just for whatever reason, while we were at Menards, at the big box store, I decided to pick up a couple extra, which is a good thing because originally my design in my head, it made sense to put floor joists at 24 inches on center because I'm not super well versed in building code. However, as I was contemplating how I was going to space these out today, because I'm screwing in through the outsides instead of doing joist hangers, so they have to be, each floor joist has to be just a little bit offset so you can catch it with a screw. I discovered that floor joists should be on 16-inch centers, which is roughly 14¼ inches between each floor joist, which means that instead of needing 9 floor joists or whatever for this frame, that I actually need 12, which is exactly the number that I bought on a whim because I was like, oh, I might need an extra one or two. Always buy more, because that extra one, because this takes 5.5 full 16-foot boards. Obviously, I have a ton of leftover, so I could be cutting these out at 12-foot. Instead, I got 16s, but 5.5 boards. So I get 2 joists out of each 16-foot board, and I have just the right number because I also used part of one board to cut the blocks. So I cut 6 feet off of one board to give me the blocks to hold the outside edge of the skid, or the floor to the skids. So now we'll just fill in the rest. Well, as the sun's starting to go down, there's still a couple hours of daylight left, but the floor joists in here are done, and I'm going to do a little bit more work filling in the corners where the timbers will sit right on top to make sure that the weight transfers all the way down to the skids. And I got to figure out what the best way to anchor the skids to the ground is, just to help prevent any wind lift or shifting if we got a big storm or something, which I don't think is a huge concern, but with the tornadoes that came through previously and a couple of strong straight line storms, it's probably a good idea to make sure it's not going to go too far. But we'll see. And yeah, next time we're gonna start milling. So we are going to do, instead of doing a plywood floor, we are going to do oak timber or oak planks. We'll see how that goes. But the floor stayed square, which is awesome. And yeah, it feels really good to have this done, knowing that there's snow in the forecast. And we'll keep going. Until next time.